Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to From the Holler. My name is Missy. I am missing my little kitchen assistant. He has gone to help Pat haul garbage to the dump. So it's just me in the kitchen this morning. I'm sure when he gets back, he'll be right in here with us, because y'all already know. This morning it's a little afternoon, and I'm in the kitchen getting stuff started. We went on a little adventure over the past couple of days, and Aiden and I came back with head colds. And I don't know if it's an actual head cold or if it's allergies, because the pollen count is very high around here. I don't know. But we're both kind of feeling icky, kind of stopped up and stuff. So I want some comfort food. And I had mentioned to you all the other day about my grandmother's Depression era brain fog. Depression era vegetable soup. So that's what I'm putting on. I'm going to let it sit here and simmer, and we will just bowl it up. I will make a pan of cornbread later on, and we'll just bowl it up, and that will be our supper. So whenever we're ready to eat, it's ready to go, and I can just kind of sit down and relax and get some rest and try to get rid of whatever this is. So let's go, y'all. Let's get our adventure started for today, and let's get this veggie soup simmering. Alright, in my pot I have already cut up my potatoes, and y'all, I want these kind of thick because one, I'm going to let these simmer for a while, and two, you don't want these to get mushy and stuff while you're cooking your vegetable soup. You want to let it cook. The way grandmother always did it was she would let it cook and just, let people come in as they wanted to and get bowls of it as they were hungry. So that's what I'm going to do. She just kind of left it sitting on the stove and let it do its thing. So I've peeled up and chopped up about 5 or 6 medium potatoes, I guess, and they're all about the same cut. So we're gonna build on this. This is such an easy and simple vegetable soup. Y'all will not believe how quick this comes together. Very simple, but full, absolutely full of flavor. Y'all, you'll see. So to my potatoes, I'm going to add some onions. And I've got these that I've already chopped up. So I'm just going to put them in there. And I may add, I don't know if that's enough or not. We may add just a few of these red onions. We like the onion flavor. Now, this is probably the equivalent of a medium onion diced up. So there's that. Then I've got a can. Now, grandmother always used her home frozen. Okay, she froze peas and stuff like that. So it was either her home canned or home frozen mixed veggies. And she would always grab a bag or a jar or whatever. I'm just using a can of these. Okay, you can use the frozen ones. I don't have any frozen ones, so I'm using the cans. And I'm going to put 1 can of that in here, and I'm going to see if that's enough for the amount of potatoes that I peeled. You can make this soup as much or as little depending on your family size and all the things. So there's that. I did drain the juice off of these, but I didn't rinse it. So there's that. Let me grab a spoon so I can get my tomatoes open. Oh Lordy. There we go. I love. Lord have mercy. These are my home canned tomatoes that I did last year. This is my last one. So I'm glad I've got some on the shelves. So glad I've got some on the shelves. Y'all, that's about it. I'm going to run over here, grab some water. We're going to fill this up. And then I'll show you the final ingredients to our Depression era vegetable soup. Alright, so I added about 6 cups of water to mine. Okay? We'll stir all this together. It's already looking and smelling good. Alright, here's where we're going to go with this. I think I've got plenty. I always have an extra can out here. I peel my potatoes first, and that's how I base that's how I base the rest of mine. What else I'm going to add to it, okay? So I always have an extra can of the mixed vegetables or an extra bag out here just in case. I always have extra tomatoes, you know, extra onions, all the things. Now you can add in some macaroni, elbow macaroni, or whatever pasta you want to add into it. If you want to do that, you could add in ground beef. So many different ways, but this is a taste of home for me. So now we're going to add in some salt. And I just realized the other day that I forgot to tell y'all why I had not filled up my little salt cup yet. So let me tell you, while my little kitchen assistant is not here, let me tell y'all, and yes, I'm putting about a tablespoon and a half of salt in, somewhere like that. The potatoes can handle all the salt, so nothing has salt in it. So you're having to salt everything, all right? But anyway, let me get on with my story. So the other day, I came in through here, and Aiden had gotten up in the middle of the night, and he had come into the kitchen, and when I got up, my little salt shaker that I keep sitting here, it was empty. And I asked him about it, you know, and he said, well, I was eating an apple, and I needed salt. So I ate it. Y'all, he is a salt eater, and I have to keep it put up from him. So, yeah. Now the last ingredient, believe it or not, vegetable oil. Vegetable oil. Now y'all, I have never tried it, and you don't need a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot. I've never tried it with any other oil, so I cannot sit here and tell you that you could use canola oil or whatever, because I don't know, okay? I just know that that vegetable oil gives this soup the absolute best taste ever. And y'all, it's just like being back at grandmother's. That's what grandmother used. Actually, she may have used some lard there for a while. We always rendered lard out in the front yard, which was always fun as my friends drove by. So we always rendered lard. We always made cracklings, which, by the way, I would love to have some good cracklings and some good crackling cornbread. If you've never tried that, as soon as I find me some cracklings, we're going to make some together. But anyway, yeah, we did all the things. Now you can bulk this up if you want to. You can do whatever you want to do with it. This is how I do it. This is how grandmother made it. A lot of this water, as it sits there and kind of simmers, it's going to cook out. I mean, it just is. Potatoes are going to, you know, throw off the starch and all the things. This is going to thicken up a little bit. Okay. And you know what? I may add just a couple more small potatoes to this. I don't know. We'll see. All right, y'all. that is our vegetable soup. We're going to let this sit here. If you're just going to cook it and eat it right then this takes about 35 minutes. You just want your potatoes to get done, so fork tender, and the onions and the other veggies to get soft, and you're ready to eat. If you want to make it ahead of time, you can make this in a crock pot. Totally make this in a crock pot. If you want to make this ahead of time, just kind of let it sit on the stove and simmer for a while. Then, I mean, you see it's about 12:30 now, and I'm just going to let this sit here and just simmer. I'm going to get it started good. It's coming to a boil now. I'm going to get it started good, and then I'm just going to turn it down to a very low simmer and let it sit here on the stove, and all the flavors come together, and it's going to be so good. So good. And we'll eat this probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock, somewhere in there, unless we get hungry earlier. But that's how long I'm going to let it sit here. I promise you the potatoes will not get mushy. They will just be so good. That's why I cut them so thick. But anyway, enough of me rambling. I'm going to get this mess cleaned up, and I'll let you know if I add anything else to this. I haven't decided yet, but if I add anything else, y'all will be the first to know. Y'all, I did decide to go ahead and put just a few more of these little potatoes in there, and I'm just going to cut them in half and then half that again and kind of drop them in gently like that right there. There we go. As y'all know, we are a potato family. So yeah, we like our potatoes. Y'all, this is already smelling like grandmother's house. And before anybody says, there's no protein in that. Well, you know what? There's not. You're right. There's not protein in that. Want to know why? Because that's not the way my grandmother made it. There were times, my grandmother was born in 1903, so she was raising part of her little family when the Depression hit, and my dad being one of them. And this was one of their go-to meals. They couldn't afford protein all the time, so they fed their children the best that they could. There were 7 children, if memory serves me right. Lord, try to go through them all. So they did what they could do. This is a Depression era soup. We're going to stick to that. Like I said, if you want to add protein to this, you can brown up some hamburger meat and season it up however you want to. Add it in here. That's fine. If you want to do some ground turkey, ground chicken, put it in here. That's fine too. I am not doing that tonight. I just want some of grandmother's original vegetable soup. So that's what I'm making. And that's the reason behind it. Alright, y'all. I've already turned this down to a low simmer. And we're just going to let this sit here and go. I'll keep y'all updated on what it's looking like and how it's doing as we go through the day. Alright, y'all. This has been sitting here for a little over 2 hours. It's 2:40 now in the afternoon, and you can see how much it's cooked down. We started off up here, so it's cooked down quite a bit. I'm going to stir it up just a little bit. We're going to check our seasonings. As you can see, those potatoes are not mushy at all. They're still holding up good. Our soup's getting a little thicker. I'd want to check the seasoning on it, see where we're at there. So I'm just going to get a little bit of the broth. It's going to be tongue torch hot. I like to have a little hair left on my tongue after taste testing this. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. All right, y'all. I am going to turn my oven on. I'm going to go ahead and get my cornbread made because I may want to eat just a little bit earlier. But it's so good. It is so good. Alright, so I've got my little cast iron skillet here. I'm going to grab me some wax paper. This is just my quick way of making cornbread. Makes the perfect size for us. I just fold it a couple of times. Then I'm going to grab my Crisco, the shortening. There we go. And I'm just going to make sure that our cast iron is good and greased up. You really want to get in the seam on the bottom and the sides because you don't want your cornbread to stick. That would be a tragedy. Get that bottom real good. And that's it. And I'm just going to stick this in the oven while my oven's preheating just until I get my mix thrown together here. Let's put this back up. Alright, y'all, I am going to use the Martha White buttermilk cornbread mix. Again, this is the perfect size for the three of us. I do make homemade cornbread every now and then, but this is just the perfect size. And all you do is dump that out in a bowl and put in 2/3 cup of milk. That's it. If you want to use buttermilk, you can. I just use milk. Y'all, it's cold out there. It's raining here, so perfect soup day. Pax has been watching a little football. And I think it's a crisp 68 degrees outside right now. That's what it was last time I checked. And it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We've not seen temperatures like this in a while, and I am not complaining about it. So you just want to mix this up. There we go. That's good. Alright, y'all, let's take this out. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Let's get our cornbread mix poured in here. You almost get a little sizzle when you pour that cornbread mix in that hot skillet. It's kind of what you're looking for. It crisps up the bottom and the sides when you pour it in like that after the cast iron's been heated up. Makes it good. Makes it good. Alright. So I'll try to show you guys this. You can see, which I don't know if you can or not. Let me turn this down a little bit. You can see that the sides have already started cooking. Okay? So, I hope you can see that anyway. Alright, let's get this in the oven. Y'all, I don't save timer for cornbread. I know when cornbread's done. You can judge that. Alright, y'all, we're going to let that cornbread cook. It's about time to eat. The cornbread is ready, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven off. Ooh. Oh. I'll get my glasses up. There's your cornbread. Supper is served. Now, anytime anybody gets hungry, they can come in, fix them a bowl, and go eat. Ta-da! Y'all, look at that soup. It has cooked down. It is so good. And see, potatoes are not mushy still. 3 hours later. So now I'm going to make me a bowl. I'm hungry. I'm going to make me a bowl. Cut me a slice of cornbread. And I'm going to eat supper early. And there's supper. Cheese sandwich. Just bread and cheese. Deluxe, American only. Very picky about that. And our soup and cornbread. Let's go eat, y'all.